Now, many of you know that Razer is a company that I absolutely love. You know, it's just typically anything that's a Razer product, you already know I'm going to go and get. Either it's going to be sent to me or I'm going to buy it. But in this case, this product is a little bit different because typically it's something that I'm kind of slowly growing into, and this being a mobile gamer, because typically I don't normally care about mobile gaming. Just putting it out there. I bought things such as the Razer Raiju Mobile, you know, because I'm thinking, yeah, I'm gonna be doing a lot of mobile gaming, but the reality is, even with this controller, as nice as it is, mobile gaming at the time just wasn't for me. However, enter a new product that just completely changes that whole paradigm for me. And that product is the Razer Junglecat. This right here has changed the game for me. There are a couple caveats with this, and if you are into mobile gaming and you have one of the 3 phones that it comes with a case for, I mean, I'm showing you the box, but here's the thing in motion. This is what it looks like. It looks similar to the Nintendo Switch. Basically, it's the same form and functionality. And I like that because it immerses me more into the game instead of feeling like I have an attachment or an add-on. But anyway, I'm going too far into this. Hey everyone, Mekel, Kasanova, Hawaii's favorite YouTuber and host of the #1 podcast in the state of Hawaii, the Kasanova Podcast. And in this video, we're going to be doing an unboxing, setup, and a review of the Razer Junglecat. So, if you guys are ready, let's go ahead and get the video started. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, follow me on social media. Links are all right here and in the description below. And with that being said, let's go ahead and see if this lives up to the hype and gets me more into mobile gaming. Roll the intro. Mobile gaming is something that has been around for over a decade and a half plus, and while in the West it's been something that's slowly catching on thanks to mobile games like Pokemon Go, Super Mario Run, Fire Emblem Heroes, King of Fighters All-Stars, and so much more. In the East, mobile gaming is and has been for decades a major multi-billion-dollar industry and has been dominant and is nowhere near slowing down. When it comes to smartphones, we're now getting console quality to console perfect versions of games. And while this is amazing, it is often limited to having to use the touchscreen. And while in the East this is an issue, for us in the West it's still a point of contention, to the point where many don't consider mobile gaming as something viable. With the current trend of gaming phones from Asus's ROG phone line and Razer's own Razer phone line of gaming smartphones that have controller accessories and compatibility with console controllers, I'd say that mobile gaming is a very viable option. And now with Razer's own Razer Junglecat Bluetooth controller, we're going to find out how much more viable this controller makes mobile gaming a true gaming experience. The design of the Razer Junglecat is, well, let's just be completely honest, it's based on the Nintendo Switch, and Razer isn't ashamed of it. The individual controls are basically just slightly smaller Joy-Cons with the same button layout as the Joy-Con. They come connected to a Joy-Con grip-like holster that is just a convenient way to keep controllers together and stored in a compact form factor. It's a smidge smaller than the Joy-Cons connected to Joy-Con grip. So how do these Joy-Con-like controllers attach to your smartphone? Well, with one of the included cases with the controller. The cases included are for the Razer Phone 2, Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus, and Huawei P30 Pro, which all have divots for the controllers to slide into, like the Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons slide into the Switch. Again, this isn't being bashful and is copying of the Nintendo Switch. So what happens if you don't own one of the following phones and want to mount the controllers onto it? Well, you're honestly going to need to get a 3D printer, and if that's the case, if you gotta do that, then the problem's solved. But otherwise, if you don't have those phones, then you can still use the controller. Although if you have large hands like me, then at times it can feel a little cramped. The button layout is easy to navigate, and if you've used a Nintendo Switch, then you'll have zero issues with it. The build quality of the Razer Junglecat is made of plastic that, while not as weighty and premium as the Joy-Cons are, still nonetheless are a pretty well made controller. The D-pad is solid, incredibly responsive, regardless of if you're using it to play your video games or navigate your Android phone's menu, albeit fairly limitedly given no home button. The buttons are going to be a point of contention based on how you like to feel your buttons, as if you're used to Razer controllers such as the Raiju controllers, then the buttons will feel just the same. If, however, you're used to the Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons or even the Nintendo Switch Lite, then the buttons will feel clickly and potentially to some, they'll feel cheap and hollow. Regardless of which camp you find yourself in, one thing is for certain, and it's that the buttons are incredibly responsive. The analog sticks are honestly indistinguishable from ones on the Nintendo Switch and have the same degree of tilt and motion. On the bottom of each of the controllers is the Bluetooth power on switch and USB Type-C charging ports to charge the individual controllers. The cases included feel pretty standard hard plastic that isn't really a protective case at all. And if you have the Razer Phone 2, then you lose the ability to see the glowing chroma logo on the back of the phone because, well, the case covers the entirety of the back and some parts of the sides of the phone. Overall, the build quality is serviceable and compact, even if that means it may not feel as premium as the Joy-Cons or even the Razer Raiju Mobile. They just simply work. Now, the advertised game for this controller is none other than Fortnite, and honestly, it makes sense that this is the feature game on the box art of this controller, given how globally popular that title is. However, I, for one, do not care at all for Fortnite, nor any of the Battle Royale style of game, as they're simply not for me. That being said, this controller works perfectly for Fortnite, PUBG, and other mobile games of that sort. But for me, I'm playing this with games like Chrono Trigger, Mana, Castlevania, and more official titles. But for me, my main usages for this controller paired with my Razer Phone 2 is emulation, as this controller gives me that Nintendo Switch console-like feel with the comfort of playing my retro games and even some homebrew games with utter ease. One of my favorite games to play with my Razer Phone 2 and this controller is both Legend of the Double Dragon and Ultimate Double Dragon, which are made by my friend Magneto as the definitive Double Dragon experiences. And with this controller, every move pulled off is done so well and with so much ease, and I never miss a beat. Every emulator I've used with this controller is easily mappable, and due to the gamepad application that you download to use with this controller, you don't have to worry about remapping many emulators, as the app maps the buttons so you can honestly just fire up your favorite emulator and use your ROM or ISO files and be gaming in minutes without a hitch. Now let's talk about the one area I can see a lot of people going to, and that's using xCloud for cloud gaming. We all know that cloud gaming is on its way to becoming the next huge thing in gaming. It's slowly getting there, and given that it's the next big thing, there's the desire for many to have full console experiences on their mobile devices. And with the small or few limited, especially if you're living in the US, gaming phones on the market, we have a lot of people wanting that experience in their palms. And honestly, with my Razer Phone 2 and the Junglecat or even the Raiju Mobile, that is a reality. I fired up xCloud and was able to play some Devil May Cry 5, Forza 7, Soul Calibur 6. Devil May Cry 5 ran solidly on the Razer Phone 2, with the Junglecat on both Wi-Fi and cellular data with no drops in quality and controls having no input lag, as I was able to get combos in and kick tons of ass. Just so you guys know, I have T-Mobile, so I'm using their LTE Plus plan. In Forza 7, I experienced no issues either, and it ran smooth, looked good, had no lag or latency, and just was a blast having my favorite racing game on the go. Soul Calibur 6 was a real shocker here, as with the Junglecat and on Wi-Fi and data, it ran without a hitch. I dropped 0 combos and had no input delay, which, when it comes to a fighting game, you would expect it to have issues with cloud gaming, and it honestly doesn't have any issues. Let's talk about the wow factor. And the wow factor of the Junglecat is in how it gives you that Nintendo Switch feel with an enormous library of games from emulation, mobile games, and cloud gaming, which there's nothing else like it on the market. And while yes, you can get any number of controllers for mobile devices that may be comfortable and cost a fraction of the price of the Junglecat, the reality is the Junglecat comes with an app that allows you to fully control the settings and more of your controller, along with setting up key bindings to almost all mobile games and emulators or even cloud gaming. And on top of that, an extremely long battery life, and quick charging via USB Type-C. It's just awesome. Now, I gotta cover the downsides. You guys know I always talk about the downsides in every single product that I review or game. And, well, the only thing I can personally have an issue with is the fact that I can't game and charge my phone at the same time, because honestly, after an hour or two, the Razer Phone 2 paired with the Razer Junglecat drains the battery down to half battery life due to both the Bluetooth drain and running xCloud or a mobile game and pulling data, either Wi-Fi or cellular. Other downsides I'll mention are, well, not really issues for me, but for some would be the build or the quality of the plastic and the buttons, as many may find them to feel cheap and possibly fragile. But for me, I don't feel that this is much of an issue, as I like the build. But that's me, and I just need to mention it. The main downside I see that's above all is the fact that if you don't have one of the phones that the Junglecat comes with a case for, then that's going to be an issue, as either you have to wait for Razer to eventually make one for your phone, or you will have to 3D print one for your phone. Honestly, I'd love to have one for my Galaxy Note 10. But let's wrap it all up, put a little bow on top, and give you the final verdict. And with a small compact form factor when connected to the case that supports smartphones, excellent battery life, a quick charge capability, a game app that auto configures your buttons to the game or emulator or cloud gaming, and responsiveness in games, the Razer Junglecat is my go-to mobile gaming controller for my Razer Phone 2. And while I wish it had a case for the Galaxy Note 10, it still is a solid product that I feel is worth the price of admission, given that you have the phone to utilize the case with. That being said, it's a go. Again, if you have the case to use it with. If not, wait for the Razer Kishi. And there you have it. That's the entire review for the Razer Junglecat. This is absolutely one of my favorite devices. And look, it may not be for everyone. There are a couple things that are going to knock it down a couple notches if you're interested in something like this. Because one, if you don't have the phone to fit one of the 3 cases that comes with it, that's going to be a bit of a hard sell, you know, unless you're able to do 3D printing or something like that. But other than that, if you got the phone that works with it, then the Junglecat is a serious major go. However, if you're patient and if you don't want to get the Junglecat, there's another controller that's coming out very soon. It's the Razer Kishi, and that's one that I highly recommend people pick up if they want a universal fits all type of controller, because that is the one you want to get. So with that being said, if you want to pick up the Razer Junglecat along with the Razer Phone 2, the links for that will all be in the description down below. Thank you guys for hanging out with me and enjoying, well, I hope you enjoyed this review. And with that being said, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Again, I'm Mekel, Kasanova, Hawaii's favorite YouTuber, host of the #1 podcast in the state of Hawaii, the Kasanova Podcast, which airs every single Monday at 8 a.m. Hawaii Standard Time. So with that being said, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Deuces wild, too sweet, be the elite. I'll see you on the next one. And oh, before I end this, Razer, thank you for sending this out to me. I need to go ahead and put that in there. This should have been in the beginning of the video, but thank you guys for sending this out to me. It's an amazing device. I absolutely love it. And just because it was sent to me for the audience, that does not mean my opinion is in any way, shape, or form swayed by the fact that it was sent to me. That's just a little thing I got to put out there. But with that being said, catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Have a good one. Hey, you made it to the end of the video. Congratulations. And since you made it here, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Like the video if you enjoyed it. You can always check out MikelKasanova.com. If you want to support the content, we've got Patreon, as well as channel memberships and super chats. And with that being said, this is Mekel Kasanova. I enjoy you guys. I hope you have a great one. Mahalo, and see you next time.